Okay, so we're gonna go over ArrayList. So the thing about arrays is that once you initialize their uh, size, you can't really change that. But that's where ArrayList comes in. ArrayList allows us to add contents to an array and remove contents from that specific array without declaring its size. So the first thing you do is you do hold on. So first thing you do is you import the ArrayList. So import java dot util dot array list. Okay, and now you can set up your array list. So your array list should be in the following format. You could either call it like this, array list. And here is going to be what the data type your array list content should be. So if you want to make an array of strings, you just put in string here. The S should be uppercase instead of lowercase. Then your array name is equal to new array list. You pass in your data type again, and then close brackets. And this is one way to write it. Another way to write it is you can just ignore this. That's perfectly fine. And this is how you set up your array. So if you want an array of strings, you just put string here. If you want an array of integers, you have to spell integers like this. Okay. If you want double values, then you have to pass in double like this. If you want character values, it's pretty much you spell character out. And if you want Boolean values, you spell Boolean. Okay? So right now let's work with strings. So what we can do is let's call this array city names. So what we can do is we can add, so right now this array, it has no content inside it. But let's add content inside it. So let's do city names, and you do dot add, and you can add a, a string into it. So let's do Denver. Now the array has one value inside it. So you can continue however much you want. Okay, so here the array looks like this. It has Denver, then London, and then Vancouver. Okay, now let's say I want to know the size of my array. What do I do? Well, you could, in a print statement, do system.out.print line. Find your array name, so city names, and you call the size method. Okay, recall an array. In a regular array, you would just call in dot length. Here you call in dot size, and this will just give you 3. Okay, if you want to get the certain index of an array, you don't do it like this way. You don't do like square bracket and you pass in the index value. What you do is you use dot get, and then you pass in the index value. So if you do 0, then this should just give you Denver. Okay, there's also a few other stuff you can do. So if you do city names dot set, what this does, so here you pass in an index, and here you pass in what you want to replace that index with. So if you do 2, and let's say we put NYC, what this does, it replaces Vancouver with New York City or NYC. So yep. What else can we do? We can also uh, do city names dot remove, and let's say I want to remove the uh, second index. Sorry, the first index. So I can just do 1, and it deletes this from our array list. I can also do city names dot um, clear. Okay, and this pretty much deletes everything from my array list. Okay. Oh wait, my array list right now looks like starts from here. So it's Denver, London, and then New York City. Then we remove London, and then we clear everything. Okay. Also, what else you can do is, let me get rid of these two. If we call in city name and you do add, you can pretty much add something to a certain index. So let's say at index 1, I want to include Manchester. Okay, the difference between set and add is set pretty much overwrote whatever was in here, but add, it pretty much will add something into here and push everything else aside. So this turns into Denver, Manchester, London, and then New York City. And now you can like now print this out. So you could use like a regular for loop and do like the following: int I equals 0. I has to be less than city names. Instead of dot length, you do dot size, and then you do I plus plus, and then you do system dot out dot print line, and you get the contents of this array. So you do city names dot get, okay, and then you pass in the index value. That's one way to do it. The other way, you can do the following: or you pass in the variable, the data type of the array list. So you pass in string, uppercase S, then a value, a name of your choice. So let's say X, and then the array list name, and then you do system dot out dot print line, pass an X here, and it'll pretty much display all the contents of your array. If your array list was an integer value, you would do uppercase integer. A lowercase writing int is also fine, but just get into habit of knowing the difference between working with regular arrays and array lists.